As I make this video, it's the middle of December. It's literally 1 week until Christmas Day. So this is the time of year when a lot of people are already planning to fail next year. I am being a little bit flippant when I say that, and possibly a little bit unkind as well. And you've probably worked out that I'm talking about New Year's resolutions. If you're one of the people who sets and keeps New Year's resolutions, then far be it from me to talk you out of it. But we probably all know that there are more people who fail with New Year's resolutions than are successful with them. And I think there's a couple of reasons for that. The first, as I've already mentioned, we all know people who fail at resolutions, and we might have done it ourselves. So we're almost programmed that these things don't work. The second, and possibly the more important one, is that for a lot of people, resolutions are something that they do once a year. This is once a year goal setting. Now think about that. If there's something that you only do once a year, how good are you likely to be at it? And the answer is not very. Goal setting, I am a big advocate of goal setting, as you know, but it's not a once a year activity, it's an ongoing activity. Some people say that we should write our goals down and then read them to ourselves every day. Other people say once a week is better, other people say once a month, just to check in and make sure we're still on track with them. Whatever works for you, there's lots of ways of goal setting. This video is not about which is the best one. What this video is about is something else that you hear people say a lot at this time of year, which is, I don't know where the year's gone, it's just flown by. And I find that quite sad, that people's lives are just passing them by and they don't know what's happening to the time. So I want to share something with you that I've been using for about 8 months now. This is not a New Year's resolution, but maybe it could be a New Year's habit for you. And this is something that personally I'm finding incredibly eye-opening to understand where my time is going, what I do with my time. You probably know from earlier videos I'm a big advocate of keeping a gratitude journal. The way that I do it personally, I think I've talked about this before, is I use a tablet and a stylus because I like to write and I like to keep an electronic version of it. I do it first thing in the morning. Some people prefer to do it in the evening, but if you've not tried it, it's just about writing down 3 things that you're grateful for in your life and emotionally connect with those. It's just a great way of keeping yourself in an appreciative mindset. I know a lot of you already know who Jim Rohn is. If you don't, I'd really suggest that you check him out. He's an extremely motivational guy, but he's not just an empty motivational speaker. There's a lot of wisdom in the words that he speaks and the words that he writes. Now, something that Jim talks about is an idea of taking from the day. And it's very, very simple. It's at the end of every day, just taking a few moments to reflect on the day and think about what were the highlights of the day and what can you learn from it. If you could just take one thing, if you could just learn one thing from that day, what would it be? When I first heard about this, it was one of those things that was a really good idea intellectually, but I didn't do anything with it immediately. Round about 8 months ago, I actually started to use this on a daily basis, and I'm just finding incredible the results that I'm getting from it. Once again, there are many ways that you could do this. My personal way is to keep my notes in the same electronic journal that I'm using for my gratitude journal. And then at the end of the day, I spend a few minutes just making a list of everything that I've done during the day. There are a number of benefits to this. The first one is if something went well, if something was pleasurable during the day, as you're reviewing it, you're reliving it as well. And if something went well, if something made you happy, if something gave you pleasure, why would you not want to live it twice? The opposite is also true. If there was something that didn't go well during the day, this is a great opportunity to review it in an emotionally detached way so that you can plan and make sure that you don't repeat the same mistake again in the future. Once I've done that, I write down my take from the day, and that might be something that I particularly want to remember because it made me happy, or it might be something that I learned during the day. It might be something I learned about myself, it might be something that I learned from a book. Just the act of writing it down and spending a few minutes reflecting is an extremely valuable exercise, but it can go further than that. What I do every Sunday is I have another journal which I call my Take from the Week journal. And what I do is I spend a few minutes reflecting and I read through my week. What did I do during that week? What were my highlight moments? And I transfer all of those highlight moments into my Take from the Week journal, and I write down what is my take from the week. If I can only take one thing from that week, what would it be? When I started doing this, it blew my mind that on a Sunday evening, there were things that I'd done on Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday and I'd completely forgotten that I'd done, and some of them were fairly significant things. And this is where our lives can slip by without us noticing, because life is so busy we forget about things. And the benefit of just being able to look over that week and say, wow, look how much I actually achieved this week. It's fantastic at keeping yourself in a positive, empowered mindset. But it gets better than that as well, because at the end of every month, I read through all of my take from the weeks. In fact, I read through everything that I've written from that month and look at all the things that I've done during that month. And this time it's even more incredible. There are things that maybe I did at the start or halfway through the month, and it feels like I did these things a lifetime away. And just being able to relive those moments and realise how much life I managed to pack into those 30 days, 31 days, whatever it was. It's just an incredibly empowering thing to do. And then of course no prizes for what I'm going to be doing at the end of the year. I'm going to take a day or maybe even 2 days and I'm going to read through everything that I've written in the last 8 months, and I'm going to review each of my take from the weeks. I'm going to review each of my take from the months, and I'm going to figure out what was this year all about for me, and then I'm going to use that in my planning for what do I want next year to be about. If you ever find yourself saying, where did today go, where did the week go, where did the month go, where did the year go, then I strongly encourage you to try doing something like this. You don't have to use my system, make something up that works for you, but just the act of daily reflection and weekly reflection and keeping a list, even a short list of things that you did during the day, you'll be amazed at how many of those you forget in a very short space of time. This is probably my last video for this year, so thank you for supporting the Mindset Academy. I hope it's been useful to you. Let me know either in the comments or drop me a message what you'd like from this channel for next year, and I'll see what I can do for you. I hope you've had a fantastic year, and I wish you an even better one next year.